What is up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here again. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I'm looking forward to getting back into it this week and sharing some more stories and smiles and all for you today. Gonna dive into r/Faith in Humanity today. Smaller subreddit, but one that I know you're going to enjoy. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to hear some stories to restore your faith in humanity. Great reunion. I work at a vet, and 2 days ago, a client brought in a stray dog. She insisted on paying for him to board, get an exam plus blood work, and all of his shots just in case he needed them. Yesterday, one of our techs was driving home and saw a flyer for a lost dog that looked very familiar. We got in contact with the guy, and he came to get his dog today. His story was pretty crazy. He had stopped at a red light with his windows down, and someone walked up and took his laptop and phone out of the passenger seat. He got out to confront the guy. There was an altercation, and he got beat up pretty badly. In the midst of this, his dog bolted from the car. 2 more guys showed up to back up the thief, so the owner took off in fear for his life. He still had the bruises and black eye to prove it. As he comes down from the adrenaline rush, he realizes he left his dog. This guy is heartbroken. He doesn't go to work, he can't eat, just spends every second of the last 2 days looking for the dog. It just happened to work out that we saw the flyer and got the dog back to him. He started bawling when we brought the little pup out, and the dog was beyond excited. He tearfully asked what he owed us, but the lady who found the dog said she would take care of it. Never seen such a grateful person in my life. The guy was so happy that we were all nearly in tears. Man, I'm nearly in tears just reading that story. OP, that is incredible. The love between a dog and their owner is just an incredible thing. You really frankly made that guy's day by being able to reunite them. Dogs, cats, pets, they're just part of the family. And when they're gone, that's a huge hole that's left. So thank you for sharing that. That's one of the few stories of a runaway pet that actually has a happy ending. A stranger paid for my cancer haircut. I have lymphoma. I am also a girl in my early 20s, and all my life, my long dark hair has been my most identifying feature. I have been distraught at the prospect of losing my hair, more so than actually having cancer, since my hair has always been very, very long and thick. As most girls do, I've struggled with hating my appearance, and my hair was something that was always easy to maintain and love, and often the only thing I ever liked about myself. It was so easy to hide behind and became my security blanket. So what if I felt or looked awful? My hair was beautiful, and people would notice that before they noticed my perceived flaws. Anyway, I had my hair cut about shoulder length, but it was matting into dreadlocks and falling out in massive clumps. I went to the local barbers and asked for a haircut. The first few places turned me down as they only cut men's hair. Yeah, but I want a men's haircut. I felt pretty flustered at this point, but managed to find a third barber shop. The shop was empty except for one other barber and a customer in the chair. The free barber asked why I wanted to cut my beautiful hair, and I awkwardly stammered out that I had cancer and pointed to the bald patches that were forming. He was very kind and helped recommend lengths that would best hide the bald patches and asked me about my treatment and how I found out I was ill, and I told him. The other customer was paying, and he said he would like to pay for my haircut, as he couldn't help overhearing my conversation with the barber, and he hoped I got better soon. He said his daughter was around my age and also had long hair which she loved. It was so unexpected and generous, it moved me to tears. I was so surprised and grateful. The barbers also recommended some pomade to help style my short hair and refused payment for the pomade and told me to come back if I needed another cut. I left and cried in my car for about 10 minutes. I've been struggling a lot with the whole cancer thing, and the generosity and kindness of these strangers really touched me and made me feel seen and valued. TLDR, I'm a 24 female and have an almost unhealthy reliance on my long hair. I need it cut off due to chemo and it falling out in clumps, which is distressing. A stranger overheard me talk about my cancer and paid for my haircut, and the barber was very kind and did not charge me for some pomade. Wow, that is incredible. OP, I'm sorry you're going through cancer. That is an incredibly moving story of just human generosity and kindness towards strangers when they're going through something difficult like that. I'm so glad that someone was able to be there at that moment to help your life and to be able to show you that there are still good people out there. to the nice lady on the bus. I'm not sure if this post belongs here, but I don't know where else it might go. Doing it from my phone, and English is not my first language. I'm not sure how bus tickets work in other parts of the world, but just in case, a small explanation. The bus has a sign in front saying the price of the specific ticket. I was going to meet with my mom in this specific place after she got out of work. She works in a hotel. This is relevant information. So I see this blue money on the table and I take it to pay the bus. I was running late, so I didn't really look at it. Also, my country money comes in several colors, blue being one of them. So I get on the bus and pay my ticket. The driver gives me the change back. As a side note, when you get on the bus, you pass through some bars that check how many passengers the driver had so they can make sure the money corresponds to it. When suddenly the driver calls, "The girl that paid with 2,000, the one that's blue here." So I raise my hand, confused. He gives it back to me. It's not 2,000. It's a Mexican 20. Sometimes people at the hotel leave small change behind, coins or something that is not much. I like collecting them, so my mom brings them to me when that happens. I'm horrified. I had no other money. I already passed the bar, so I have to pay, but I only have a 20 Mexican with me. I have no idea what to do. So I'm standing there, terrified. The driver was mad. He thought I was trying to rob him. With no idea what to do, I just kind of look around. People avoided my eyes, except you. You look tired. Probably coming back from work. You could have ignored me, ignored what was happening. You didn't have to get involved. Instead, you reach into your purse and you take out a white coin bag. And you start counting, seeing if you had enough. Looking into your purse when you see you were missing a bit. I do not know you. I don't know if you needed that money for your next ticket. You did not know me. And yet with nothing more than a kind smile, you give the money to the driver. And yet, with nothing more than a kind smile, you give the money to the driver. I thank you 1,000 times, and yet I still don't feel it's enough. So I can do nothing else but share the story of a nice lady on the bus who didn't hesitate to help someone in need. That's just another incredible story of human generosity towards a complete stranger. So many times people just have no desire to get involved in helping others through whatever they may be going through. And yet here we're seeing examples of people that are willing to do that and just how much it blesses the life of that random stranger. Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope that you were able to pay this forward. Proud mummy moment, where my son potentially saves a school friend from a long time in hospital, possibly death. So, last week, my son was in Canada skiing, and he loves it. One of his roommates fell whilst coming down the run and really hurt his side, but wouldn't admit it. 25% of the group of 70 kids had gone down with a sickness and diarrhea bug, and as this kid was hurting, one of the members of the staff's wife is a fully qualified doctor. She checked his tummy as he said that was all that was hurting, and she said he was fine. A few hours later, he came out of the loo and told my son that there was blood in his pee, but not to say anything as he was really looking forward to the black runs the next day. My son was gone like a shot, rushed to the teacher and doctor and explained what had happened. So this kid is well hacked off with my son. Took him to hospital and he had a laceration on his kidney. As I type, he is still in the hospital, with the teacher staying in a hotel opposite and hopefully coming home this weekend. And my son came home last weekend. If it had been left, they said sepsis, internal bleeding, and possibly death. So my son did the right thing. I've had kidney cancer, so we talk a lot about symptoms, and as he is doing biology, he is asking more and more questions. But I'm so proud of him. I just feel for the parents stuck in the UK whilst their son is in Jasper, Canada, waiting for news that he can travel home. You should be proud. Your son did the right thing. So many times there's this bond of secrecy and nobody wants to narc on their friends when they're in school because of some sort of hierarchy and being seen as a snitch. But in this case, he did the absolute right thing to go to a teacher and a doctor and say, hey, look, he's peeing blood. Being young once, I can understand the allure of, yeah, I want to go on the black runs more than I want to live. But at the same time, he's going to look back one day and think, you know, that kid saved my life. And I'm so grateful that he did. Your son is going to be a great man who is able to see beyond what the immediate want of someone is and be able to look after their long-term need. Thank you so much for sharing, and like I said, be proud of your son. You've raised him right. Thank you all so much for coming by today and watching. I truly appreciate you supporting the channel and helping it grow. We're at 15 subs now and well over 100 views at this point, and it's growing every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share it on social as well. I'll see you all tomorrow with another new episode of Reddit Happy. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.